So, there are two kinds of people in the world. First, those who whip out their phones every time they're out to document everything they do on social media. Make some noise if that's you. All right. And second, those who hate those people. That, in a nutshell, sums up the entire influencer ecosystem. But what if I told you that every single one of you in this room is an influencer? I see a lot of people shaking their heads saying, not me, bro. But let me prove it to you. Pull out your phones. Everybody, pull out your phones. Open Instagram. Check out the number of followers that you have. If that's more than one, whatever that number may be, that's the number of people you influence. Because being an influencer doesn't necessarily mean having thousands of followers. To help you understand that, let's start with trying to unpack what being an influencer really means. So, up until the digital age, the word influencer didn't quite exist. Sure, there were people of influence, which was a binary concept. For instance, if you were a politician, a movie star, or an industrialist, your influence was undeniable because your actions and opinions could influence the course of events. And hence, you were influential. But you had to be powerful or rich enough to buy yourself some power. Influential people had greater access to opportunities than anybody else. But social media changed all of that. It gave rise to influencers as you know it today. Your everyday girl or guy from your neighborhood who amassed a large enough following on social media and got paid to influence people. But the reality is, everybody has a circle of influence. It's your family, your friends, your colleagues, people you impact every day. You don't need to get paid to be called an influencer. Every time you impact another individual positively, you earn something else. And that is social currency. Social currency is the power of your network, the capital you earn from every social interaction. Essentially, your influence is your social currency. To define it in an everyday context, let's take a look at our own social circles. We all have that one friend, or in fact, you might be that friend, whose opinion people take into account more than anybody else. Whether it's their taste in music, food, or fashion, their recommendations tend to strongly influence the pack. Why? Because there's a certain value to their word. That is their social currency. Now, this is nothing new. Social currency is as old as society itself. The only thing that's changed is the kind of interactions that we have. And to understand that better, let's divide these interactions into two kinds, offline and online. Now, in the offline world, it's way more difficult to reach people outside of your network for anything. Your interactions are hyperlocal, which means it's people in your immediate circle of influence, right? So if you had a great conversation with someone and they go away feeling, happy and good about that interaction with you, you add to your social currency. And when people talk positively about you, even when you're not in the room, you earn social currency. Now, for instance, imagine you started a small business selling cakes out of your home kitchen, right? Because you're a great baker. Your first set of customers would be your friends and family in your little city or town or large city or town, which may be as little as 10, 20, or 50 people. Now, if every one of those people went out and told all of their friends about your bakery, and those people went out and told all of theirs, you'd have a pretty good customer base, right? Now, this is the power of your offline network. Now, imagine if your original network had 1,000 people. And imagine all of those people went out and told more people. How much bigger of a bakery would you need, right? Because that's the power of the reach. But how do you get 1,000 people to start talking about you on day one? Through social media. This is the online world as you all know it, right? The beauty about social media is that it breaks geographical boundaries. And your influence is no longer limited to your location or your physical interactions. You could have an impact on someone 100 or even 1,000 miles away. Your audience base is now much larger, and that much larger is the value of your social currency. Now, social media helps quantify the size and value of a person's network via their number of followers, their reach, and their engagement on your posts. And the platforms, they tend to, kind of push content to people who have similar interests as you, which in turn helps build communities of like-minded people. So, what are the benefits of social currency? Now, number one, you have greater access to opportunities. Anyone who's ever worked as a freelancer taking independent projects knows what it's like to chase clients. Having social currency means opportunities chase you. For instance, I'll give you my example. I was an accidental influencer. I started off simply documenting my nightlife and leisure activities on Instagram, posting about things that I enjoyed doing, but in a structured manner. I would go to bars and clubs and do, video walkthroughs showing the entire venue, or give my review about places that I traveled to or products that I bought. I would post a ton of pictures and videos from concerts that I attended, essentially being the lens that my small number of followers could peek through. As I started getting more active, my followers started growing, and so did my opportunities. I started getting invited to brand launches, club openings, concerts, and invites to exotic locations. Some pretty cool stuff, I have to say. The second benefit of social currency is that your surface area of getting lucky increases. Now, what that means is that you have a higher chance of being discovered or have better access to the right people. Social media allows you to land in front of eyeballs that you wouldn't otherwise have. For example, a movie director friend recently told me that casting directors at times now base their casting decisions on the basis of social media following of an actor. Obviously in supporting roles, because I can't imagine Ranveer Singh's follower count is checked before he's hired for anything. But for me, this happened when a brand reached out for the first time for a collaboration because they saw a post of mine. It was from a luxury fashion brand. And all I had to do was post pictures of myself partying in their garments. Obviously, I said yes. And then eventually, brands started reaching out and started paying to talk about their brands on my profile. The third benefit of social currency is social proof. Employers today are increasingly going through social media profiles of people they hire as part of their background check process. Now, social media can be a ready reference of your impact, because every post is scrutinized by your community. A mere 5 minutes of scrolling through someone's work online can prove as useful as reading through their resume. In my case, the highlight of this journey has been, the amazing opportunity to interact with, opinion leaders and change makers, because the learnings have been huge. It happened because I was now deemed to have the social clout to be in the same room as these leaders. So, how can you add to social currency or to your social currency? Now, building social currency doesn't have to be a full-time job. It's the little things that you do every day as part of your daily life that will help you build it. There are many ways to build social currency, but from my own experience and from what I've seen with people that I know, what's really worked is this 3-step process. Step number 1, identify your niche. Think back, what's something that you've had a knack for and was identified as your thing among your friends and family? Try to track down that one thing or quality that you have that sets you apart. So a lot of us tend to worry about whether we have something different to offer. But the truth is, every single one of you has at least one thing that you're good at. Identify that and find a way to put that knowledge or talent out there, but in a unique way. Right? And this brings us to step 2, finding your voice. Now, once you've identified your niche and what you're good at, you need to find a way to make it your own. Your unique way of saying, or doing what you want that makes people come back for more. You want your signature all over that baby, right? And step number 3, and this is the most important, start. Just start. The biggest roadblock that most people face, in my experience at least, is the fear of putting yourself out there. We're afraid of what people might think. Now, have you ever scrolled through Instagram or your social media platform of choice and seen videos with millions of likes and views and wondered how? Right? We've all done it. I see it all the time. It's because those people had the courage to actually put themselves out there, for the world to see. And some made it big. Case in point, Dinchak Puja. So now imagine with your unique talent or your unique voice putting up stuff that will, kind of make a difference. How much cooler would that be? But why do you have these fears? Have you ever thought about it? It's because you're in your head. But let me tell you a harsh but strangely comforting truth. Most people don't really think about you as much as you think they do. They'll forget about you the minute or the second they scroll past your reel. You know why? Because they're too busy thinking about themselves. I guarantee you that if you're authentic and true to yourself, you will find your tribe. Make mistakes. Just don't regret them. Learn from them. Don't be afraid to speak up. You're not alone. You'll be just as weird as the rest of us. But social currency also requires social interaction. You would never walk into a party and put up pictures of yourself all over the walls and not talk to anyone and walk out. You don't want to be that person, right? In the digital world, it's not just about how many pictures or reels you post, it's how you engage with people on those platforms that will make a difference. Social media algorithms mimic communities. If you don't engage with people on a regular basis, you won't see them anymore, right? So moral of the story, interact with your community. So, building social currency can unlock new levels to life if you just make the effort to grow it. When you all walked into the venue today, you were given post-it notes and asked to trade it with every person that you interacted with today. I hope a lot of you have done that. Did a lot of you do it? Awesome. Now, all of you that have post-its other than your own, please put your hands up. Wow, that's a lot of you. This is a physical representation of your social currency. Every single one of you today will walk out richer without even realizing it. And this is all I'm here to say. You subconsciously collect wealth every single day, your social currency. You just haven't started in cashing it. So, to sum it up, I'm not here to tell you, how to become a social media influencer or that you have to become a social media influencer. I'm not here to tell you about the Instagram algorithm. And I'm certainly not here to sell you followers because I don't have that. I'm just saying you have a bank account filled with social currency. Use it. It's time to encash your influence. Thank you.